I think, Graf said, that Ender and I should have a private conversation. No, Father said. I won't take him without letting you speak to him again, Graf said, and you really can't stop me. Father glared at Graf a moment longer, then got up and left the room. Mother paused to squeeze Ender's hand. She closed the door behind her when she left. Ender, Graf said, if you come with me, you won't be back here for a long time. There aren't any vacations from battle school, no visitors either. A full course of training lasts until you're 16 years old. You get your first leave, under certain circumstances, when you're 12. Believe me, Ender, people change in 6 years, in 10 years. Your sister Valentine will be a woman when you get to see her again. If you come with me, you'll be strangers. You'll still love her, Ender, but you won't know her. You see, I'm not pretending it's easy. Mom and Daddy? I know you, Ender. I've been watching the monitor discs for some time. You won't miss your mother and father. Not much, not for long, and they won't miss you long either. Tears came to Ender's eyes in spite of himself. He turned his face away, but would not reach up to wipe them. They do love you, Ender, but you have to understand what your life has cost them. They were born religious, you know. Your father was baptized with the name John Paul Riexurek, Catholic, the 7th of 9 children. 9 children? That was unthinkable. Criminal. Yes, well, people do strange things for religion. You know the sanctions, Ender. They were not as harsh then, but still not easy. Only the first 2 children had a free education. Taxes steadily rose with each new child. Your father turned 16 and invoked the Non-Complying Families Act to separate himself from his family. He changed his name, renounced his religion, and vowed never to have more than the allotted 2 children. He meant it. All the shame and persecution he went through as a child. He vowed no child of his would go through it. Do you understand? He didn't want me. Well, no one wants a third anymore. You can't expect them to be glad. But your father and mother are a special case. They both renounced their religions. Your mother was a Mormon, but in fact their feelings are still ambiguous. Do you know what ambiguous means? They feel both ways. They're ashamed of having come from non-compliant families. They conceal it, to the degree that your mother refuses to admit to anyone that she was born in Utah, lest they suspect. Your father denies his Polish ancestry, since Poland is still a non-compliant nation, and under international sanction because of it. You see, having a third, even under the government's direct instructions, undoes everything they've been trying to do. I know that, but it's more complicated than that. Your father still named you with legitimate saints' names, but in fact baptized all 3 of you himself as soon as he got you home after you were born, and your mother never objected. They quarreled over it each time, not because she didn't want you baptized, but because she didn't want you baptized Catholic. They haven't really given up their religion. They look at you and see you as a badge of pride, because they were able to circumvent the law and have a third. But you're also a badge of cowardice, because they dare not go further and practice the non-compliance they still feel is right. And you're a badge of public shame, because at every step you interfere with their efforts at assimilation into normal complying society. How can you know all this? We monitored your brother and sister, Ender. You'd be amazed at how sensitive the instruments are. We were connected directly to your brain. We heard all that you heard, whether you were listening carefully or not, whether you understood or not. We understand. So my parents love me and don't love me? They love you. The question is whether they want you here. Your presence in this house is a constant disruption, a source of tension. Do you understand? I'm not the one who causes tension. Not anything you do, Ender. Your life itself. Your brother hates you because you are living proof that he wasn't good enough. Your parents resent you because of all the past they are trying to evade. Valentine loves me. With all her heart, completely, unstingingly, she's devoted to you and you adore her. I told you it wouldn't be easy. What is it like there? Hard work. Studies just like school here, except we put you into mathematics and computers much more heavily. Military history, strategy and tactics, and above all, the battle room. What's that? War games. All the boys are organized into armies. Day after day in zero gravity, there are mock battles. Nobody gets hurt, but winning and losing matter. Everybody starts as a common soldier, taking orders. Older boys are your officers, and it's their duty to train you and command you in battle. More than that, I can't tell you. It's like playing buggers and astronauts, except that you have weapons that work and fellow soldiers fighting beside you, and your whole future and the future of the human race depends on how well you learn, how well you fight. It's a hard life, and you won't have a normal childhood. Of course, with your mind, and as a third to boot, you wouldn't have a particularly normal childhood anyway. All boys? A few girls. They don't often pass the test to get in. Too many centuries of evolution are working against them. None of them will be like Valentine anyway, but there will be brothers there, Ender. Like Peter? Peter wasn't accepted, Ender, for the very reasons that you hate him. I don't hate him, I'm just afraid of him. Well, Peter isn't all bad, you know. He was the best we'd seen in a long time. We asked your parents to choose a daughter next. They would have anyway, hoping that Valentine would be Peter, but milder. She was too mild, and so we requisitioned you, to be half Peter and half Valentine. If things worked out right. Am I? As far as we can tell. Our tests are very good, Ender, but they don't tell us everything. In fact, when it comes down to it, they hardly tell us anything. But they're better than nothing. Graf leaned over and took Ender's hands in his. Ender Wiggin, if it were just a matter of choosing the best and happiest future for you, I tell you to stay home. Stay here, grow up, be happy. There are worse things than being a third, worse than being a big brother who can't make up his mind whether to be a human being or a jackal. But battle school is one of the worst things. But we need you. The buggers may seem like a game to you now, Ender, but they damn near wiped us out last time. They had us cold, outnumbered and outweaponed. The only thing that saved us was that we had the most brilliant military commander we ever found. Call it fate, call it God, call it damn fool luck. We had Mazer Rackham. But we don't have him now, Ender. We've scraped together everything mankind could produce. A fleet that makes the one they sent against us last time seem like a bunch of kids playing in a swimming pool. We have some new weapons, too. It might not be enough, even so. Because in the 80 years since the last war, they've had as much time to prepare as we have. We need the best we can get, and we need them fast. Maybe you're not going to work out for us, and maybe you are. Maybe you'll break down under the pressure. Maybe it'll ruin your life. Maybe you'll hate me for coming here to your house today. But if there's a chance that because you're with the fleet, mankind might survive and the buggers might leave us alone forever, then I'm going to ask you to do it. To come with me.